The wraiths in the walls. The old asylum stood in the distance, its crumbling walls and broken windows an ominous silhouette against the cloudy sky. The air was thick with the stench of decay, and every step closer to the building sent an eerie chill down the spine. A letter had arrived at the journalist's office weeks before, a letter filled with cryptic words. "They're not gone. They're inside the walls." This was his assignment, to investigate the asylum, once the site of controversial experiments. The letter, marked with a postmark from the asylum, had been sent by someone desperate. Upon entering, the atmosphere was oppressive. The hall smelled of old medicine and forgotten nightmares. Dust covered the floors, and the walls were cracked and peeling, like the asylum itself was rotting from within. Shadows stretched unnaturally, moving in ways that didn't make sense. The silence was suffocating, broken only by the occasional creak of the old building. As the journalist ventured deeper into the asylum, he noticed strange markings on the doors, names scratched into the wood, faded and illegible. There was a sense of something alive in the air, something watching from the darkness. The deeper he went, the more unsettling the environment became. In a forgotten office, the journalist found a worn leather journal. Dusting it off, he opened it to reveal the twisted ramblings of Dr. Havelock, the lead physician at the asylum. The doctor's entries detailed disturbing experiments referred to as soul transfers, a supposed cure for insanity. The idea was simple: transfer the soul of one patient into another's body, curing the madness through a sort of spiritual exorcism. But it was far from successful. The patients didn't just lose their minds, they vanished, their souls trapped inside the asylum, never to leave. As the journalist read further, a sense of dread overwhelmed him. The doctor's final entries were filled with panic, describing patients who seemed to disappear and others who remained, their bodies empty husks, their minds lost forever. Dr. Havelock spoke of walls that seemed to hold souls, trapping them within, ensuring they would never escape. It was then that the journalist felt a cold breath on his neck. Spinning around, he saw only his own reflection in a shattered mirror. But something was wrong. His eyes were hollow, lifeless, as if he were no longer fully himself. Panicked, he turned back to the journal. One entry stood out. Subject number 197, unresponsive. Severe delusions. The name was not familiar, but the more he thought about it, the more it gnawed at him. The reflection in the mirror was his own, but different. It was as if he were someone else, trapped in this place, forgotten. Suddenly the whispers began, low at first, then growing louder until they filled the room. The walls around him seemed to pulsate, as if something or someone was pressing against them, trying to break free. A chill ran down his spine. It was clear now. The asylum itself was alive, feeding off the trapped souls. The journalist tried to flee, but no matter where he went, the halls twisted and turned, leading him back to the same room, the same mirror. The walls closed in on him, and it became painfully clear. He had never left the asylum. He had been one of its lost souls all along, his mind trapped in the very place he had come to investigate. The whispers grew louder, and the walls seemed to echo his name. The journalist was no longer a visitor. He was now part of the asylum's cursed legacy,